right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Keoma, 1976. This is going to be another 18 recommendation. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was all right. Of course, I knew it was an 80 recommendation. I remember because he loves Westerns and Franco Nero. This is Keoma is a 1976 Italian spaghetti Western film directed by Enzo G. Castellari and starring Franco Nero. He's showing off his hairy chest and his Jesus long hair and beard. It is frequently regarded as one of the better Twilight spaghetti westerns, being one of the last films of its genre, and is known for its incorporation of newer cinematic techniques of the time, such as slow motion and close medium panning shots, and its vocal soundtrack by Guido and Mariazzo De Angelis. I did not like the singing in this. It was horrible. After the U.S. Civil War, ex-Union soldier Keoma Shannon, part native, part white, returns to his hometown to find his half-brothers in alliance with a petty tyrant named Caldwell. Caldwell and his gang rule over the town with an iron fist. With the help of his father and George, an old black friend, he vows revenge. Keoma also shows compassion when he saves a pregnant woman from a group sent by Caldwell's group to be quarantined in a mine camp full of plague victims. But there's nothing wrong with her. Kind of reminds me of, I can't mention that. I'll get my my video taken down again. So we won't mention. All right. So it's got that stupid roots myth that somehow all the black slaves were freed by Lincoln. That Civil War was all about slavery. It was actually about preserving the Union, more specifically, preserving Lincoln's Republican Party. While participating in the filming of 21 Hours at Munich, Franco Nero was approached by his longtime friend and collaborator Enzo G. Castellari and producer Manolo Bolognini on the proposition of appearing in a spaghetti western. Despite dwindling demands for films of that genre, at the time no stories or scripts had been written. Nero, Castellari, and Bolognini did, however, decide to name their project Keoma, which was a native name that, according to Bolognini, meant freedom. In reality, the name means far away. Keoma was reportedly planned as a sequel to Sergio Corbucci's Django, which Bolognini co-produced. The original treatment was written by actor George Eastman, Luigi Montefiore, and developed into a screen by Mino Roli and Nico Ducci, neither of whom were experienced writers of spaghetti westerns. Roli and Ducci's screenplay arrived 3 days after shooting began and was quickly thrown out by Castellari and Nero, unanimously believing that it was not appropriate for a western. Castellari proceeded to rewrite the script on a daily basis throughout filming, taking suggestions from cast and crew members, as well as being influenced by the works of Shakespeare and Sam Peckinpah, among other sources. Most of the dialogue as it appears in the film was written by actor John Lafredo, although Nero also contributed a substantial amount of his own lines, including his final exchange with the witch. In the 2012 interview, Nero explained that he lifted a line from a book called The Cowboy and the Cossack by Nero's friend Claire Huffaker for the scene with the witch. The film was shot over a period of 8 weeks, with most principal photography being done at the Elio Studios in Rome, where Corbucci had previously filmed Django. The studio set was in dire need of repair, which made it easier for Castellari to film, as they did not have the redress the sets. The film was also shot on location at Lago di Camposeco. According to Nero, the music Guido and Mariazzo de Angelos was inspired by Leonard Cohen. That singing is so annoying and off. It's so off tune. It's really torture listening to that soundtrack throughout the film. It doesn't go away. I did like the cinematography and the plot twist and the corrupt sheriff thing, but the post-Civil War nonsense and the soundtrack really ticked me off. Keoma premiered in Italy on November 25th, 1976, and it was considered a mild success in Italy at the time. The film grossed a total of $1,571,995,000 Italian lira in Italy on its theatrical release. Let's see, production companies Renos Cinematographa, distributed by FAR International Films, release date November 25th, 1976 in Italy, running time 101 minutes, country Italy, languages Italian and English, box office 1.571 billion Italian lira. It was later released on Blu-ray by Mill Creek Entertainment as a double feature with The Grand Duel, utilizing a restored print. Some countries promoted the film as a Django film. These included France, Django Rides Again, and West Germany, Django's Great Return. In the UK, the film was released in 1977 by Intercontinental Films as The Violent Breed, which Vadi Productions released the film in the United States as Keoma the Avenger in 1978. Spanish promotion for the film lists Sergio Leone as the producer, which is not credited with anywhere else. In a contemporary review, the Monthly Film Bulletin reviewed a dubbed 85-minute version of the film. The review noted that the film was too severely cut to follow its plot easily, let alone its multiple Freudian undercurrents, but stated that visually it has many impressive, if conventional, aspects, noting the introduction of various flashback scenes. The review also praised Franco Nero as endlessly enjoyable and concluded that Keoma is an effective reminder that the Italian Western was always more formally intriguing than its critics would have one believe. In a retrospective review, AllMovie gave the film 4 stars out of 5 and referred to the film as one of the finest efforts of the spaghetti Western genre. The review noted that the plentiful gunplay is choreographed with balletic grandeur. The camera work is sweeping and lyrical, and Luigi Montefori's script is heavy with spiritual metaphor while still adhering to established Western tenets. All movie also commented on the score as the film's sole drawback, finding it often tone deaf. No kidding. I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees that. Whoa. It's like watching some soundtrack to the Hobbit cartoon movie with really bad singers in it. It's like folk music with really bad singers in it from that cartoon Hobbit movie. At least the Hobbit had decent singing. It was folk music. It was a little childish, I guess you could say. Mid 70s folk music. Yeah, not my cup of tea. I probably enjoyed it more when I was a kid. But anyways, let's look it up on IMDb, shall we? Nobody in the chat room once again. Karate Man's running out of how many years and film recommendations. You recommended some National Lampoon's Vacation series. I do not like Chevy Chase. I do not think he's a funny man. And Lampoon Vacation is about as lamestream as you can get besides Die Hard. Anyways, Keoma, 1976, rated R. Pretty cool looking movie poster. It gets a wicked high 7 out of 10 on IMDb. I think that's way too high. 6,300 ratings. So this is definitely a lamestream movie that Australian people keep recommending to me, these lamestream movies. This is one of them. A Union gunfighter attempts to protect his plague-ridden hometown from being overridden by his racist half-brothers and a Confederate tyrant. Wow. Make Whitey look like the bad guy. He's actually peeing on Woody Stroh's shoe. Woody Stroh is a familiar face. We've seen him in lots of spaghetti westerns. Once Upon a Time and what was it? Once Upon a Time in the West. Yeah, he was in Once Upon a Time in the West. Great opening scene with Charles Bronson. I love that flick. Anyway, nice to see him in another spaghetti western. More like this: Face to Face, Day of Anger, Compañeros, and A Bullet for the General. Keoma returns to his border hometown after service in the Civil War, and he finds it under control of Caldwell, an ex-Confederate raider, and his vicious gang of thugs. To make matters worse, Keoma's 3 half-brothers have joined forces with Caldwell, and they make it painfully clear that his return is an unwelcome one. Determined to break Caldwell and his brothers' grips on the town, Keoma partners with his father's former ranch hand to exact violent revenge. Taglines: a man who is free never dies. This is drama western. I don't know why it gets an R certificate. There's no nudity or blasphemy in it. The storyline of the film was mostly improvised improvised, at the same time as the film was made. The original story treatment was written by Luigi Montefiore, aka George Eastman, and turned into a script by Mino Rowley and Nico Ducci, but director Enzo G. Castellari didn't like what had been written by the latter two. Because of problems with the schedule, Castellari and actor Joshua Sinclair wrote the script for the next day, every evening after filming of the day. Castellari was also open to suggestions from the cast and crew. Franco Neri has confirmed that he wrote some of his own dialogue. At 7 minutes, 8 seconds, riders on horseback in pursuit of two men running on foot fire their pistols. Both men on foot react as if hit by the first shot. Here's some quote from Keoma. He can't die, and you know why? Because he's free. And man who's free never dies. That's the end of the movie right there. I just spoiled the ending. German version was cut for violence and pacing reasons by 8 minutes to secure a not under 16 rating. Despite that, it still got put on the index list by the BPJM, which means various sales and advertising restrictions. Fortunately, in 2003, the movie was removed from the index list, and the FSK granted the uncut version a not under 16 rating. This was featured in Le Ole du Cyclone Western Isimo from 1995. The soundtrack, Keoma, this has to be the worst soundtrack ever. Uncredited music by Guido De Angelis and Maurizio De Angelis, lyrics by Susan Duncan Smith and Cesar De Natale, performed by Sybil Amarilli Mostert and Cesar De Natale as Sybil and Guy. I hope they're not the singers, because they were just abysmal. Here's a typical review by Ma Cordes, dated June 2nd, 2008. Ma Cordes gives it a 7 out of 10. The title of Ma Cordes' review on IMDb is Classic Spaghetti Western with plenty of action, shootouts, and violence. A mestizo ex-soldier named Keoma, Franco Nero's long hair is actually a wig, helps a pregnant woman, Olga Carlados, from cutthroats. Keoma, the word name Keoma means freedom, according to the people involved with this movie, but it doesn't actually mean freedom. But that doesn't stop Ma Cordes from believing it. Keoma returns to a small town after the Civil War. The ghastly village is ruled by violent outlaw gangs led by Donald O'Brien, along with Keoma's three brothers. Half-breed Keoma is helped by an alcoholic old man, Woody Strode, and his adopted father, William Berger. The bandits' leader prohibits the inhabitants leave from damned little town besieged by pests. This Twilight spaghetti western packs a decrepit aesthetic, racist denounce, and evolving scenario set in Elio Studios by designer production. Carlo Simi, Sergio Leone's regular, there is full of action in the movie guarantee. Fist play, stunts, and shootouts every few minutes, and in Sam Peckinpah style. Franco Nero is cool. He bears a remarkable physical resemblance to Jesus Christ. I think I mentioned that. He helps a hapless pregnant and is crucified in Christian symbolic sequence. He does look like Christ tortured and murdered on a cross. But he didn't actually die. The Pregos woman saved him. Interesting and thought-provoking screenplay improvised at the same time the film was made, but director Enzo G. Castellari didn't appeal the original story. Because of problems with schedule, the script was written for next day every evening after filming at the day. Usual spaghetti western secondaries appear, such as William Berger, Ken Wood, Robert Del Acqua, and Richard Pizzuto of the Terence Hill and Spencer films. Sensitive, perceptible music score by Guido and Maurizio De Angelis with emotive atmosphere. Nearly the songs performed by Bob Dylan westerns. By Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen, I should say. Oh, the singing was bad. I don't agree with this. The picture was well produced by Manolo Bolognini, usual producer of Italian westerns such as Django, Goodbye Texas, Boot Hill Gunman of Ave Maria, and California. Director Enzo G. Castellari has stated that out of all the films he has created, Keoma is his personal favorite, followed by a sequel titled Jonathan of the Bears, 1994, again with Franco Neri and director Enzo G. Castellari, being shot in Russia and including notable resemblances with Dances with Wolves, but the film failed at the box office. Keoma was the swan song of spaghetti because made not much after and resulted to be the coup of grace of an Italian Western. So there you have it, Keoma, in a nutshell. Not a great flick, not a terrible flick. It was annoying at times, but it did have its moments. Next three are Rage of Honor, 1987, How to Make a Doll, 1968, and Rio Grande, 1950. That's coming down the pike. So I didn't get a chance to do 3 reviews this weekend because, well, Underground Kingdom was 3 hours and 30 minutes long. So that took me a while to get through, but I really enjoyed Underground Kingdom. What an awesome serial. Laters.